Hello and welcome to the Electronic Eremite Reviews. I'm the Electronic Eremite. Today we're going to do a components review of Nexus Ops, the new Fantasy Flight Games edition. It's a game by Charlie Catino, published a long time ago, well it feels like a long time ago, by Avalon Hill. This is a new edition, but it maintains most of the rules. There's a few additional optional rules, but the base game is the same. Most of the components are the same. They look a lot different. And so that's what this review is for. I'm not actually going to do a video review of the gameplay. A lot of that is because that there have been so many video reviews, written reviews for Nexus Ops. A lot of people know about the game already. So it would be a little bit silly to do a review for a game that has been so heavily reviewed. Instead, we're going to focus on the new components of the Fantasy Flight edition and look at some of the changes they made to the way the components look and how they are, and see if it's worth a buy for those that already own Nexus Ops, or worth a new entry if you haven't owned Nexus Ops before. Now, I will tell you, I will admit, I did not own Nexus Ops before this. I do not have the Avalon Hill edition, so I don't have anything to compare the things with right in front of me here. Of course, pictures of Nexus Ops, the Avalon Hill edition, are ubiquitous all over Board Game Geek and other places, so you can easily compare, and a lot of you listening to this are going to be listening to it precisely for the reason of comparing the one you already have to this new edition. Like I said, the rules are pretty much the same. They are almost identical except for some of the optional rules. Now I'm going to cheat a little. This is not an unboxing. I'm going to cheat a little and I'm going to remove, there's some of the pieces right there. First thing we'll talk about is the manual here, the rules. It's a very, very nice rule book. Usual Fantasy Flight Games quality level. It is a 12-page rule book. Here you have some of the different setups. Just regular glossy pages, very well put together, easy to read, very succinct. I really like that about this. This is part of the Nexus Ops tradition, though, to have succinct rules. Very streamlined game. Most of you know already, if you're watching this, how Nexus Ops plays, and if you haven't, you can easily download the rules. Look at the box very quickly. It's got the famously efficient Fantasy Flight Games insert. Nice big cardboard thing for an empty box there. This insert I won't probably throw away. It's actually very good. If you'll notice, the box is much smaller than your regular. Well, than some Fantasy Flight games. It's about a third smaller than Mansions of Madness or Gears of War. It is about the same size of Kingsburg. So it's a very lightweight box. Let me show that to you again. Very lightweight box and easy to carry around. So that's nice. First thing I will look at is your player aid maps here. Your player aid mats, I'm sorry. See if you can zoom in a little bit. There we go. And it's, this is very nice. They're nice, thick cardstock, so easy to read. You can see the battle order here going from most powerful to least powerful. Therefore, they're all the same, right? Just like the regular. A neat thing now, however, a little bit different, I think, than the original game, is that there are alternate units on the back side that you can play with for one of the new alternative rules, one of the optional rules. They change up some of the order. You can see that what would be called a crystalline and a fungoid here on the regular side. On the optional, the alternative side, they switch these to a Shardian and a Sporling. They have different powers, not a whole lot different powers. Some of them actually are drastically different. Others are different iteration on the same power. So that's kind of neat. When you get tired of playing this side, you can flip over and play the other side, play different types. All of the rules and the cards reflect both sides of the map. Both sides of the mat. It'll say something like, if you kill something with a rubium dragon or a monolith worm. So they do change the names. So that's really kind of nice. It's a dual purpose mat so that you have two different options of gameplay. Let's look at the hexes now. Here, I'm going to pull these over and put them here in the center. This is your regular home base hex. As you can see, very clear as to the refineries on it. Same on both sides. One of each type. You've got the crystal forests there. The crystal area there. The liquifungus forest. The rock area here. You get one of each. You have different tiles. Got two hex tiles, and you've got 1 hex tiles. Here is the molten area. Pretty clear that the humans can't enter that area. You can tell on the other side of this there are they're able to be randomized, because this will be the 2-part tiles also. Of course, the home bases don't need to be randomized. Maybe one of the most contentious things is the monolith here. So here's your monolith. As you can tell, it's not tall. It is a regular hex tile. It's clear, I suppose, that here's a human, there's a fungoid, there's a crystalline. So it is clear that those 3 can't enter. I think it could be a little clearer. I mean, most people that know the game will know that, but it's not hugely clear. I really dislike, I suppose, the way it looks. As if you're looking for a nice crystal forest or nice, deposit of rubium, that's okay. But I don't see anything monolithy about it. I mean, think about a giant rubium monolith, I guess. I don't see anything monolithic about this. That's fine. I mean, some people will really hate that it's not a tall piece of cardboard. Now, I know that a lot of people said that they disliked the old monolith because it was always tearing up. That was one of the things that tore up very quickly. So there's obviously going to be some opinions about that. On the other side, you have an optional rule of the Nexus, the energy Nexus, or Vortex, I think it's called. What this does, is kind of neat, is you will roll dice and it will suck in units and then spit them out to another place, and then also you will roll the dice again and it will destroy all units depending on a random roll. That's going to add a lot of random nature to the game. The reason why you want to be next to it is that when you're next to it, you can draw energy cards, energize cards, for every hex that you control next to this. So obviously it's a risk-reward benefit. The more people you put around this, the more rewards you get in energized cards, but also the more risks you get in having all of your people destroyed, or having them suddenly sucked in and deposited someplace else, perhaps starting a battle or something like that. So that's a new optional rule. Again, is it wonderful? Well, who knows? It will take some plays to find out. I haven't actually gotten a chance to play using this. I'm not really reviewing the game in that sense, so it's going to be either love-hate, I think. People will try it out and decide. You're, of course, with Fantasy Flight, so you're going to get some cardboard here. Actually, less cardboard than most Fantasy Flight games. You've got your exploration chits here. So I'm going to just zoom in on that here. There we go. Well, this is a nice exploration chit. Gives you a refinery and a fungoid. On the other side, you can see, so that you can't tell what they are, it's got a little bit of a, looks like a probe or scanning kind of thing on that side. Now, I did want to say some things. They did have what they called some special exploration tiles. You can tell they're green bordered there. I found a problem with these, and I don't know that anybody else has talked about it quite yet, or if it's intentional. If you look on the back side here, okay, those, I just showed you the backside of the others. So let me get some of the standard. Here's some standard. Okay, and I'm not sure it'll pick up. It's going to be a little bit subtle. But if you'll notice, the optional new exploration tiles are just a slightly different tint on the back. I don't know if that's intentional. It didn't say anything in the rule book about it. I doubt that it is. I'm wondering if this is a mistake. You can barely tell on the camera. It's actually much more noticeable, or at least noticeable. Noticeable enough that if I put them down, I can pretty much always tell you which one is going to be. Let me zoom in and I'll prove this to you. I can almost always tell which one is. This one here is a green border. Yep. And this one here is regular. Yep. I can pretty much always tell. Now, what I haven't first checked is how different the contrast is when you put, say, a green border on here and a non-green border on there. It's pretty noticeable. I mean, here's the green border. I can tell very clearly. So that's a problem in a way. It can be a serious problem because those green border ones, I wouldn't know if they were better, but they give you usually a little bit different things, energized cards rather than extra units. So I suppose if you really wanted an energized card, then you can identify. Now that is an optional rule, okay? So if you don't want to worry about that, then you don't have to use them. But there are 6 of them, and it is noticeable on the back. I don't know if Fantasy Flight intended to do this, or if they will be offering replacement parts for those or not. I haven't heard anything about it on it. As far as I know, I opened up my copy and just noticed it myself. Again, let me just show you very quickly. I can tell clearly. That's the green bordered one. Yep. This is regular. Just a little bit more brown. Anyway. That's a serious issue, and I don't know. I'm not too enthused about the green border ones anyway. They give you energized cards instead of units. I'm not really all that keen on that, but whatever. Some people will want to play it, and that definitely is going to cause people to be able to look at what they're getting. What you could do is you could, I suppose, instead of putting them on the board, you could just draw one out of a bag whenever you explore a new place. You would just need to have a way to know that you have what places you've explored or not explored. Here's your rubium chits. I like these a lot. They're very clear, 5s and 1s, and they have a neat shape. So when you're thinking about buying something, you could easily. I think what would be neat and what I might end up doing is actually buying some of those green plastic like jewels to use for rubium, because I think that's kind of neat. And a lot of people have done that with the old version, so I might do that. So here's your first player marker. It again is that same sort of rubium shape. For some reason it's not wanting to zoom in on that or focus in on that. So let's talk about the cards. The cards are your regular Fantasy Flight cards. I have sleeved them already here. So this is your battle victory card. On the flip side, you have King of the Hill cards that give you a victory point. You can either, when you hold the monolith, you can either choose to get energized cards or a victory point card. And of course, your battle victory cards are whenever you win a battle. Let me just pull one of these out. All the cards are the same stock, even the big and small cards. Very nice, normal Fantasy Flight card stock. Nothing too surprising there. Now you'll tell the energized cards are bigger. You've got your, on the other side, there's your energized. Bigger. Very nice art on there. Something missing from the original version was nice art like that. I think it's clear. The text is easy to read. Nothing surprising there. I'm a little... Oh, let me show you the secret mission cards here. Alright, got a lot of secret mission cards. These are objectives, and they have changed the color of the battle cards, so that battle objectives, secret mission battles, objectives are red, and just the regular objectives are blue. That is, there is of course a difference between those for players of the Avalon Hill version. You can only get one battle objective. You can only get 1 point for a battle objective. Oh, sorry, not 1 point. You can only qualify for one battle objective. Thank you. Here's a 3-point one, so that's wrong what I said about 1 point. But you can only qualify for one battle objective per battle. You can get more of the regular objectives. You can play more of these if you qualify. You can qualify for more. In order to, like I said, I've already put them in sleeves. You need 2 yellow, 1 green. And you'll actually have some green left over, and you'll have a little bit of yellow left over. I use Fantasy Flight. You can use the Mayday equivalents. I always use premium. That's just me, because I found that the non-premiums end up bending after use. Your package of dice. You got black and white, defender and attacker. Okay, alright. Now, I'm going to move these over here a little bit and get to probably the most contentious part of this, and that would be your units. Your units, and here we go. Now, I know, Fans of the original have already voiced their opinion that where are my translucent units? Why don't they glow in the dark anymore and all that sort of thing? Why aren't they UV black light activated? Well, whatever. Like I said, I did not own the Avalon here. Here's your Hill version. Here's your humans. I did not own them, the Avalon Hill version. Get you one by itself. See how close we can get. Oh, there we go. He's got a little cannon there, big cannon there. I did not own the Avalon Hill version, so I really feel no particular disappointment that they're not translucent. In fact, I always had a hard time when looking at Nexus Ops telling some of the units apart when they were so translucent. I like the detail. You can tell there's a lot of detail on these new pieces. See, look at these fungoids. They've got all sorts of mushrooms growing off the top of them. They're easy to tell apart, or at least reasonably. If you can't see here, they are all slightly different sizes. So let me get one of each here. These are the ones that are the most like one another. The human, the fungoid, and the crystalline. Okay, here we go. And you can tell they're slightly tiered in size. Here's the crystalline up close. Very detailed sculpt here. Nice. I like it. I like it a lot, actually. I think they look cool. You always thought that the others looked like candy. I think these, whereas those were lemon drop candies, these are like sweet tarts. They look to me like sweet tarts. They are, let me get you a lava leaper, a rock strider here to look at. I love the rock striders sculpt. There we go. Nope. Well, it's not going to, let's zoom in a little bit on the actual, well, technical difficulties here on the rock strider. Okay, there we go. I love it. Look at those legs. They stand up, not on my hand very well. They stand up pretty nicely. They stand up very nicely on the board or on a hard surface. And then we've got the lava leaper. He's kind of weird looking. I'm not too excited about him. His face is kind of weird. He's alright. He again stands up. And of course, the main deal here, your rubium dragons. Well, I like them a lot. They're large, and they are well detailed. If you can't tell, I noticed this yesterday, there's a little guy on a saddle. I was like, hey, look, it's those dragons from Avatar. I wonder if that was somewhat intentional. They sort of look like it. You'll notice that the plastic used is very, very similar to the plastic used in Rune Wars. It's the bendable plastic, not the really hard plastic. I think that's a good thing. These guys tend to be meshed together. They gave us bags to put them in, so that's also nice. They do tend to be mashed a bit together in those bags. So that does allow them to bend without breaking. I know many of you may know, for if you have Chaos in the Old World, that some of the pieces would break off under pressure, and that was a problem. You would open up your bag and you would automatically have broken cultists. I don't know how many of my cultists are broken, because they were just a tad bit harder. They were still a little soft. These are soft, kind of like Castle Ravenloft or Wrath of the Shardalons. They're not like the Descent people in a sense. They're a little bit softer, I think, a little bit more bendy. Let's see if I can. Well, the bigger ones are obviously going to be a little softer than the smaller ones. The only bad thing about that sort of stuff is that you will see a little bit more of deformation. Hot water can fix that. I didn't have any deformation. Well, nothing that was too. It's kind of neat. You have variations in the wing bending of each rubium dragon, but it wasn't anything that was too particularly exciting or worth being upset about. And I really like the sculpts. I really like the pieces. I like the quality plastic. For those of you that will miss the smell, they actually did smell kind of bad. So, hey, that's an added benefit if you really like bad smelling plastic miniatures. So this was my components review of Nexus Ops. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you enjoyed the game.